Hello, I think we can wait. We can start in 2 minutes. Yes, Abir, you want to say something, Abir? I can see your hand raised.
Every moment you get closer, I lose stamina right away. Everything about you, baby, makes me go lose my mind. C'est la fois passée que j'ai découvert que tu m'as volé. T'as dépassé le borné chat, c'est moi encore du temps. Ou tu manera, hallelujah. Si mi toma, mi amora, t'en vas pas rester avec moi. Ou doucement et encore du temps. Ou tu manera, hallelujah. Si mi toma, mi amora, en tout cas je suis un toi. Your body price vanilla, chocolat, ole, ole, le, le, le. Oh, ya sina kubabariza umutima, no way, no way, no way, way. Tonight I am not gonna lose it. I'm ready like never before. Can you feel the temperature rising? Sweat, sweat, I'm fit tomorrow. Cheers to the love. Finally I found someone like on my own. Cheers, mon amour. Cheers to the vibe. Finally I found someone like on my own. C'est moi encore du temps. Ou tu manera, hallelujah. C'est mi toma, mi amora. T'en vas pas rester avec moi. Ou doucement et encore du temps. Ou tu manera, hallelujah. C'est mi toma, mi amora. En tout cas, je suis un toi.
An academic team, we can start now. Okay, so welcome everyone, and I think this is great to see this many number of people, and we're very excited that you are here. And just, I assume you have read most of the documents, but yeah, let's start with questions. Great, Ebenezer. Ebenezer, do you have a question? Okay. So if not, I think if you have any question, of course, you can ask now. But so I will just briefly describe what is expected, in particular on this week's challenge. And it's also just the expectation just to make sure that we are on the same page. But I'm assuming that because we are all from Ethiopia, so in principle, we could be talking, right? Is that the case, Makeda? Like if you join, do we have international people or we are expecting only from Ethiopia?
I think it's from Ethiopia.
Okay, good. Okay, so so that means I will be mixing አንዳንዴ በአማርኛ አንዳንዴ በእንግሊዝኛ እያወራኝ because just somehow እንትኑ ስለዚህ I think ዋናው ዓላማው of course የእንትን ስለሆነ አብዛኛው ኢትዮጵያ ላይ ባለው የፊንቴክ ሴክተር ላይ የትሬን የሆኑ በኤአይ በዴታ ኢንጂነሪንግ በማሽን ለርኒንግ ላይ ፎከስድ የሆነ ታለንት provide ማድረግ ነው so that you guys can go and transform the sector. And we know that the sector is exponentially growing and it has been, of course, the cornerstone of any country. ግን ይበልጥ ደግሞ አሁን ባለው ዲቨሎፕመንት and ባለው የግሎባል ሌቨል ዲማንድ የግሎባል ሌቨል ቼንጅ እና የኢትዮጵያ ኢኮኖሚ being highly integrated to the global financial sector, that Ethiopian banks and financial sectors needs to actually adapt in this area, and they have to compete and win as institutions and organizations. They compete አድርገው win ማድረግ አለባቸው. In terms of it could be credit lending, many of the companies አሁን ከሰምታችሁ ከሆነ there is already started. I think Kifiya, which is actually providing this training in collaboration with donors, and KAIM Academy has been, of course, the forefront of this since the beginning. I think ብዙዎቻችን ምናልባት ክፍያን የምናውቀው ያኔ ክፍያ የሚባል የመብራትና ውሃ የሚከፈልበት የመጀመሪያው ዲጂታል የሆነው ፕላትፎርም ፕሮቫይድ ያደረገው ነው። ሶ ከዛም በኋላ የተለያየ ምቹ በሚባል አሁን ለምሳሌ በኦሮሚያ ባንክ እንዲሁም አሁን በወጋገን ባንክ ጋር ያሉ ክሬዲት ስኮሪንግ ክሬዲት ሌንዲንግ ኦር uncollateralized lendingንም more provide የሚያደርግ ነው. So what it shows you is that, of course, the reason why Kifiya provide this training is knowing that the talent is necessary to develop, and it's very expensive to get this talent. And the talent kalele bankoch in a way that they will be always lagging behind. So we need talents like you to join in the fintech sector and transform the sector using, of course, your data science, data engineering, and machine learning skills. So that's the main. Just if you have any question around that, you can ask. But that's the central focus of this training. And KAIM Academy, on the other hand, has been training for the last 5 years, actually 7 years now. ምንድነው የሚያደርገው አብዛኛው pan-African ነው. So that means that ቅድም የጠየቁት ለዛ ነው, because some of our trainings are actually a lot more covers the entire African, the continent. So it's a pan-African. The idea is the same. It's just the localization is different. So የዚህ focus more Ethiopia's financial sector ነው. የKAIM Academy የኢንቴንሲቭ ትሬኒንግ የምንለው አንዳንድ ጊዜ that it's broader ነው, like any sector financial immune health immune ምንንም የማድረግ ነው. So that's a more of a ሌላ ፕሮግራም ስለሆነ ነው much more making it very super clear to everyone that this is intended and intentionally given the performance Ethiopians has in the KAIM Academy training and the awareness, as well as also Kifiya actual እንትኑ development over time ስለነበረ ይሄንን በቃ intentionally focused on financial sectors. So that means after completing this training, we hope you will join some of the financial sectors, the banks or insurers or other companies in Ethiopia, and develop, of course, use your skill and talent to basically transform, basically. Just so without further ado then, if this is very super clear, I can go on. So what, week 0, like the whole purpose of the training is alignment. So that means this week 0, so you already know, like from the quiz, that the alignment was you have to know basic programming. So this is more of a technical training. So that means you have to know basic programming and SQL and other essential things, because we don't teach them. So we will, there will be upskilling in the process, but the focus is not going to be teaching programming. So we assume you either will learn very quickly from where you are to using your programming skills to solve problems, or you already know how to program. And that is the expectation. And if you just know the basic, and I think that should be sufficient, in a sense that, any learning normally happens when you use it. So it's not just when you actually learn to program, but when you actually use the program to solve a problem, you learn much better. Okay. ስለዚህ እሱ ነው አንደኛው expectation, that from the quiz and why you are here is we assume you understand that and you know how to program. At least you know the basics of programming part. And the second, on this week 0, ደግሞ ዓላማው ምንድነው? Okay, we expect a certain, approach, like, so because this is a very short training, 3 months, sometimes, these things even over a year, it can be small, but this 3 being very small, that means 3 months, there is expectation. We expect you to be in that 3 months to be capable and go to any financial sector in Ethiopia and, work as a data engineer or machine learning engineer or AI engineer. So ለዛ alignment ስለሚያስፈልግ ይሄኛው በዛም ላይ ደግሞ የፕሮግራሙን ኢንተንሲቲ እንድታውቁት። So because you might be working and you might be expecting ኮርሴራ ላይ ምናምን ላይ ሰርታችሁ ከነበረ አንዳንድ ጊዜ ያ ከዚህ ጋር አላይን ላያደርግ ይችላል። ያ probably on your time very relaxed ልትሰሩት ትችላላችሁ, because it has no fixed maybe time frame, in the sense that it's just more a certificate you just have to show. But here we expect, because we're going to be more or less saying to banks, if you hire these people, we know what they can do and they will really change you. የሚል አይነት ነው የኛ approach or የክፍያም approach የሚሆነው. So we want you to be productive. Once the training is over, we want you to have, of course, we assume that you will have the basic overview of what are in, the financial terminologies, as well as also ምን አይነት data sets እዛ ላይ እንደምታገኙ. And then, of course, like ገና እንደተቀጠራችሁ, in the first week you can be productive enough. So በዛ የተነሳ alignment ስለሚያስፈልግ week 0 just much more as 3 days, more of like, to give you a flavor. So ያ ነው። ከዛ በኋላ the normal week ይጀምራል ማለት ነው። Okay. So ያንን ያለ, like, any question? We assume this is really more of internship more than training. So you should be feel free and you should consider yourself as more already working, right? ስለዚህ ጥያቄም ካላችሁ አሁኑ ያንን practice አድርጉት, just so that it helps, like ዝም ብሎ እንዳልቀጥል ማለት ነው። Anyone with any question? Abraham?
Yeah, thank you for your briefing. ምንድነው ያለኝ ስጋት እኔ አክቹአሊ እኛ ሀገር ላይ አሁን ስታወራቸው እንደነበሩ ባልከው ልክ ከሆነ I hope to have some hope። ግን ምንድነው እኔ እዚህ ዳታ ሳይንስ ተማሪ ነኝና ኦልሞስት this October ግራጁዌት አደርጋለሁና በምንማርበት ጊዜ ቲዮሪቲካሊ እንማራቸዋለን፣ ግን ወጠን ፕራክቲካሊ ለመስራት በጣም እንቸገራለን። እኛ ሀገር ውስጥ ያሉ ዳታ ሴቶችን ሄልዝ ላይ ነው እየተማርኩት ያለሁት። ሆስፒታሎች ጋር ስንሄድ ዳታዎች የሉም፣ ኢቨን ኢሜጆች የሉም። እነዚህ ዲፕ ለርኒንግ እና ማሽን ለርኒንግ ፕሪንሲፕሎችን እንትን ለማድረግ አፕላይ ለማድረግ እና ፍራስትሬት አደርጋለሁ። አሁን ስራው ላይም ተመሳሳይ ይሆናል ብዬ ማለት ነው። ልክ እንደ ዳታ ሴቶቹ ስራዎቹም አይኖሩም የሚል ፍራስትሬሽን አለኝና እስኪ አንተ ምን ፊልድ ላይ ነው ያለኸው? ከአሁን በፊት ያሉ ባቾችስ እንደዚህ ኢንተርንሺፕ ወይም ይሄን የ3 ወሩን ትሬኒንግ ከሰጣችኋቸው በኋላ ምን ያክሎቹ ጆይን አደረጉ ስራ ላይ? እሱ ላይ ምክንያቱም አብዛኞቻችን we are on the way to find a job we are here ይመስለኛል ስራ ስንፈልግ ነው እናንተ ጋር የመጣ ነውና እሱ ጋር ያለውን ትንሽ ብሪፍ ታረጋግልን
Yeah. Okay, that very good question and excellent. And I think that's your name, you know, የመጀመሪያው ቴን አካዳሚ ትሬኒንግ ሲጀመር we focused on job and we talked job. And fortunately ከሁለቱም ከሚኒስትሪ ኦፍ ሄልዝም ጋር ከኢፒኤችአይም ጋር በሄልዝ ደረጃ እንዲሁም ከክፍያ ጋር ደግሞ በፋይናንሻል ላይ I have worked. ስለዚህ ሁለቱንም ሴክተር የዴታ ማጠር ሳይሆን of course actually a skill matter. That means the data is so dirty that to get one insight, ለምሳሌ አሁን በእናንተ በዛ በምትማርበት ኤሪያ ላይ just ያለው ዴታ ኢፒኤችአይ has ምናልባት 300 በላይ ዴታ ሴቶች አሉት ኮምፓይል የተደረገ on everything from neonatal mortality to this to that. ግን there wasn't an attempt before data triangulation because a lot more people came from ለምሳሌ health data science ተብሎ but they don't have the scale or the skill sometimes ያንን dirty data ወስዶ value የመስጠት. So I think let's face it, a lot more of it is not ማለት ቴክኒካል ሰው ካለ ዴታው ይመጣል። actually ዴታው ብዙ ጊዜ ይሰበሰባል it's just maybe not digitized in the form but you know that technical ስትሆን ማለት digitalization it gets easier. OCR ተጠቅሞ ወይ እንትን ተደርጎ so I have had the chance to analyze እነዛን ዴታዎች you know whether you call it just longitudinal or ሌላ አይነት ዴታዎችን but when of course it's difficult even I came from training or like a field I'm by training I'm astrophysics so I have done different parts of the world satellite data analysis this data analysis that data analysis and it's almost I had an experience in a number of data formats but of course just the data formats ለምሳሌ የሚያጋጥም አንዳንድ ጊዜ እዚህ it's completely I have never seen it in a way because it was not collected maybe in a way that was well designed to be easy so let alone for a person that has done statistics or biostatistics but even as a data engineer you have to relearn some of the things because of different gaps. Maybe sometimes it's the language that you don't have the enough softwares that would understand the language or maybe that when the data was collected it may have certain gaps sometimes like for example ከነክፍያ ጋር much more ስንሰራ የመጀመሪያው እንትኑ like data on actual ID of people you don't have right so ሌላው ሀገር ላይ you have a national ID አሁን ኢትዮጵያ ውስጥ የተጀመረ ነው ግን ያ ከሌለ and then when you are trying to do ለምሳሌ credit scoring but how do you know like when someone is applying in a credit scoring saying somebody comes digitally and then applies for a credit how do you know that person is the same as another person or different from the other person like you know you of course they digitize እንትናቸውን like business license ምናምን but at the same time you know that if you are requiring those things it becomes like the number of people you can reach becomes very small so እንደዚህ አይነት ቻሌንጆች በሁሉም ሳይድ ላይ አሉ but the more skill you have the better you can handle and that's you know I can say just out of pure personal experience in both cases we were able to do it in both cases we were able to deliver data triangulation for MOH and PHI for example just using all you know a number of data sets and lead to policy briefs and things like that and then on the Kifiya side also we were helping to support even Kifiya ላይ ለምሳሌ የቴን አካዳሚ graduates are employed a lot so much more of the data engineering AI engineering and data science department is ያለው much more ከቴን አካዳሚ graduates ናቸው so አሁንም they are seeking for example ከባለፈው graduates like ከናንተ ፕሮግራም የተጀመረው just ገና አንድ cohort ነው ያለው የዚህ የክፍያ AIM they are seeking many banks came so I mean this is now a personal like that means direct that I have access information many banks came from all banks during for the graduation and they wanted and all they were asking is exactly the same they don't you know they need to recruit people with that skill but they can't find that skill easily and so 5 of them are already being interviewed like for Kifiya and many banks are already interviewing so because just it was it was just done 2-3 weeks ago, so I don't have an actual number to tell you. Good, but in academy, in general training, 95% of our graduates actually in all our training, in the training that we provide, has been placed and in the sectors, in these sectors, not just in a different sector. So that means as a machine learning engineer, AI engineer, data engineer, and working and changing companies. So we're very proud. So that's one of the things that we're very proud about. So hopefully that addresses your question, Abraham. Yeah, Abraham.
Yeah, I am happy to hear that. በጣም ያነሳሳል የተናገርከው ነገር ትንሽ ዲሳቲስፋይ ሆኜ ነበረ ማለት the journey actually we are the first batch of health data science ደብረ ማርቆስ ዩኒቨርሲቲ ነው ከኦስሎ ዩኒቨርሲቲ ጋር ጆይንት አድርገው የመጀመሪያ ባች የጀመርነው አይ ቲንክ አዲስ አበባ ዩኒቨርሲቲ ጀምሯል መሰለኝ ዘንድሮ እና ያነሳቸው ነገሮች በመኖራቸው ደስተኛ ነኝ እኛ actually እዚሁ አካባቢ ስላለን እሱ ጋር ያለውን ነገር አላየንም በእርግጥ የኮላቦሬሽንም ችግር ሊሆን ይችላል እንደዚህ አይነት ዳታ ሴቶች ካሉና መስራት ማግኘት ከቻል during this internship also it is very interested ምክንያቱም ኢቭን ለቴሲስ ራሱ በጣም ተቸግረን ነበር ዳታ ለማግኘት ማለት ነው ያለው ሁኔታ ምን መሰላው ለምሳሌ አልትራሳውንድ ኢሜጅ ላይ ለመስራት ፈልጌ ነበር እኔ ዲፕ ለርኒንግ ሞዴል እና they didn't save the images ሌሎች ሀገሮች ላይ በጣም ብዙ እንትኖች አሉ ዳታቤዞች አሉ ግን እኛ ሆስፒታል ላይ አብዛኞቹ ሆስፒታል አዲስ አበባ ሁሉ ጠይቄያለሁ ሴቭ አይደረጉም ኢቭን ተርሚኔት የሚደረጉ ሜዲኮ ሌጋል የሆኑ ኬዞች ራሱ ሐኪሙ ብቻ ነው ዳታቸውን እንትን ይለውና እንደዛ አይነት የተከማቹ ዳታዎች ካሉ I hope it will be very good ከስኪል አንፃርና የሚያድግ ነገር ሆኖ I hope ኮምፒቲቲቭ የሆነ ስኪል አለን ብዬ አስባለሁ during this training ደግሞ የተሻለ እንጨምርበታለን ስለዚህ I hope ወደፊት እንደዚህ አይነት ነገሮች የሚመቻቹ ከሆነ it is very interested and thank you
fantastic yeah so I think that's the case I think እዚህም ጋር ይጠየቃሉ ሙሉጌታ ወደ ላንተ ተሰጣለሁ just እዚህ ጋር ጥያቄው ላይ ያለው like ለምሳሌ na fall asked እንትኑ ታይማችን ጋር አሁን currently employed ከሆነ ጋር ይሄ ፕሮግራም ስፔሻል ፓርቱ እሱ ነው it assumes you may be working ስለዚህ we try አብዛኛው ታይሚንጋችን ምሳ ሰዓት ላይ ነው የሚሆነው አብዛኛው ስታንድ አፑ ከዛም ደግሞ ቅዳሜና እሁድ እንድትጠቀሙበት a lot more push አድርገ ነው much more the bulk of the work hopefully የምትሰሩት ቅዳሜና እሁድ ነው በሚል ቅዳሜና እሁድ ላይ ሙሉን የናንተ ታይም ሆኖ የመስሪያ ሰዓት ይሆናል ማለት ነው እና ሰሚሽኖች ይኖራሉ እነዛ ሰሚሽኖቹ like more of during the week ይሆናሉ so hopefully ሪከርድ ማርገን ሼር ስለምናደርግ ያመለጠ ካለ just አንድ ሰው ማየት ስለሚችል hopefully a lot of things እና for just will እንትን ያረጋል በየን አስባለሁ like ምንድነው ይቀላል so we are learning as well ይሄኛው ስፔሻል ስለሆነ ብዙ ሰው እየሰራ ስለሚማር ያንን ከግምት ውስጥ አስገባለሁ contact hours starting from week 1 I think ምስጋና I think this is going to be shared and it's very clear I think we have a document we have the website as well just but the documents will be shared and you should just have a very clarity calendar will be shared so you know exactly who is the person doing what and the tutors will be always there to support as well as also the other technical and non-technical team will be there so you will know them there will be a program the calendar will be easy so in the Slack line posts let me direct you will know so you will not miss it so በዛ እንትን ችግር የለውም and Jonathan what's expected and definitely of course is interest I would say two things by Jonathan ጥያቄ ላይ it's a lot more if you are really determined because it's not gonna the journey is not gonna be easy especially you are working you might really get tired you will see just already in the next 2 days የምንሰጠው challenges is not superficial አይደሉም so that means they really like comes from the what is missing in the industry ማለት ከባንክ ሴክተሩ ከኢንሹራንስ ሴክተሩ in general ከፊንቴክ ሴክተሩ ያሉ like ልትጠየቁ የምትችሉት either through consultancy or through investment or through እንደዚህ አይነት ስለሆነ you will, the challenge themselves are interesting, good. It might take some, you know, depending on different people are in different level nacho, bentanacho ላይ ማለት ነው። እሱ ምንድነው training capacity or ደግሞ በችሎታ. So sometimes some people might struggle, and I say if you persist and if you really, you know, do the best you can, I would say you will succeed. So that's the major requirement, and if you can do that, and I think things will be fine. And then I think the compensation, I think this is Degso asked. Like that's, of course, you know, we can't change the Ethiopian situation by that way, but hopefully that one way or another, I can tell you one thing, sometimes the basic salary might not be attractive, might not be different, but a lot more, at least in this sector, what I know is that people really benefit a lot. But the so I don't know, but a lot more people aren't good enough that they're happy. I can tell you just only that. But በኢትዮጵያ ያለውን situations ስለምናውቀው ከኛ ቁጥጥር ውጭ ነው. I can't tell you anything about that. Good. Hopefully when you are good, everybody wants you, and when everybody wants you, ብዙ ጊዜ they are willing to pay higher. So ከዛ በላይ ብዙ ማለት ስለማልችል በዛ ላይ ነው. So then ወደ አንተ ልምጣና ሙሉጌታ.
እሺ ቴንክ ዩ። የኔ ጥያቄ ምንድነው ቅድም አይ ቲንክ ነካክተዋል ከስራ ጋር በተያያዘ ነውና አሁን እኔ ለምሳሌ ፉሊ ኢምፕሎይድ የሆንኩኝ ሰው ነኝና ይሄ ፕሮግራም አሁን ዌቢናሮችን እንትኖችን ክላሶችን ላይቭ ሁሉ ጊዜ መከታተል ይኖርብናል ወይስ ሪከርድ ተደርገው ይቀመጣሉ? ስኬጁሉ እንዴት ነው? አሳይመንቶች ለምሳሌ ዊክሊ ነው ወይስ ዴድላይን አላቸው ወይስ የላቸውም የሚሉትን ነገሮች በደንብ እንትን ብትለን ማለት ነው። ምክንያቱም ኤኒ ታይም አቬሌብል በሆነበት ሰዓት ላይ እኛ መስራት የምንችል ከሆነ አሪፍ ነው። ገብቷል? ከስራ ወጥተ ምናምን ደስ ባለ ሰዓት ከሆነ ማለት ነው። ግን ፊክስድ የሆነ ፕሮግራም ከሆነ that would be difficult። ሌላው ነገር ደግሞ መጠየቅ የምፈልገው ሌላ ከዚህ በኋላ ይሄን ነገር የመቀጠል ፕላን አላችሁ? ምክንያቱም ፕላን ካላችሁ ለምሳሌ ሜቢ እኔ ኔክስት ኮሆርት ላይ ኢንሮል ላደርግ እችላለሁ አንዳንድ ነገሮችን የተወሰነ ነገሮች ሊሰርቼ ማለት ነው። ምክንያቱም ባክግራውንድ የዚህ ቴክ አካባቢ ስላልሆነ ፓይተን ምናምን የተወሰነ ቤዚክ ነገሮችን አይቼ እንትን ማለት ፈልጋለሁኝና ኔክስት ኮሆርት አላችሁ ወይ የሚለውን ብትመልስልኝ።
በጣም አሪፍ ጥያቄ ሙሉጌታ። ሶ አንደኛው አብሶሉትሊ እንዳልከው ነው፣ አሲዩም እንደምታረጋው ነው። we have just I just shared as well, we have a very clear program, and yeah, program ያንን አሲዩም ያደርጋል። many of the everything that we do will be recorded and shared. ስለዚህ at any time ላይ ማየት ይችላል። we encourage of course በቻልከው ሰዓት ምሳ ሰዓት ላይ የምናደርገው ስታንዳፑ ለዛ ነው። and at the same time just ይሄ አክቲቭ መሆኑ በጣም ኢምፖርታንት ነው። አለበለዚያ ቻሌንጂንግ ስለሚሆን and you fall behind ከዛ በኋላ መመለስ ይከብዳል። ልክ እንደ ሩጫ ነው። like አንድ የኋላ ከቀረህ በኋላ to catch up sometimes it gets harder. So even if you don't ማለት በቻልከው አብረህ ፊት ለፊት ከሆንክ that means in everything that you do, even if ብዙም submit ባታረግ just getting there and just keeping the momentum will essentially gives you ያንን ወደ ኋላ እንዳትቀር. So that even if like እኛ ያንን ብናረግም we recommend strongly that you get active and ምንድነው አብረህ ከዛ ከቲሙ ጋር ኮሚኒቲው በጣም ያቀለዋል ከኮሚኒቲ ጋር ስታረግ, because then you learn other people are also struggling the same, you learn እነዚህ ነገሮች አንተ ብቻ ሲቹዌሽን አይደለም ያለው. So በዛ የተነሳ I would say clearly we do all that. We have a very clear program. The schedules are very direct, and we have our own technology platform. Yeah, la submission የሚያቀለው deadline አለው, everything is clear, like super ምንም ጥያቄ የሚያደርግ የለው። እዛ ላይ ስላክ አለ፣ በስላክ ሪማይንደር አለ፣ everything is በዛ way ማለት ነው። So ሁለተኛው yes, a program will be there for the next 3 years, and there will be lots of courts coming. So yes, if you are for example for some reason ይሄ የማይቀጥል እንትን የማይመችህ ከሆነ you could tell the team and say like okay, I want to be enrolled on the next one በሚል ለዛ ማለት ይችላል. But whatever you do, just make sure that you get the best out of the time you spend, because your time is very essential. So hopefully, yeah, okay. So Said.
Hello, ይሰማል?
Hello? ይሰማል።
ሄሎ
ይሰማል ሰይድ።
አመሰግናለሁ። እንዴት ዋላችሁ?
እንዴት ዋልክ?
እሺ እኔ እንኳን አሁን አንስቶታል ወንድማችን ያነሳው ማለት ከሱ በፊት ነበር ሀሳቡ የመጣልኝ እና ምንድነው እኔ ያለሁበት ዲፓርትመንት አሁን ላይ ከዚህ ወጣ ያለ ነው። በት አሁን ሪሰንትሊ ግን እንደዚህ አይነት ነገሮች ላይ ኢንትረስትድ ሆኜ ብዙ ነገር እያየሁ ነው እና ይህንን ሳየው ይህንን እንደ ኦፖርቹኒቲ ሳየው በጣም ነው ደስ ያለኝ። ነገር ግን የኔ ስጋት ምንድነው አሁንም ቢሆን ሞክ ኤግዛሙ እና ከዛ ወደዚህ ያሉትን የአንድ ሰዓቱን ኤግዛም ስንወስድ በብዛት ያስቸገረኝ ነገር ላይክ ኤስኪዩኤል እና ፓይተን ላይ ያሉት ነገሮች ናቸው። ዳታ ምንድነው ማቴማቲክስ እና ስታቲስቲክስ በማስተርስ ደረጃም አብሬ ስለተማርኩት ብዙ አላስቸገረኝም። እነዛ ነገሮች ላይ ግን አብረን መጓዝ እንድንችል ላይክ ምንድነው የሚሻለው ማለት ብዙ ሰው እዚህ ጋር የማየው አንተም ኢንትሮዲውስ እንዳደረግከን ያሉት ነገሮች ቤዚክ ነገር አላችሁ አብራችሁ እንድትጓዙ ነው እንጂ የምናስበው ላይክ የትሬኒንግ ነገር ሁላ ላይሆን ይችላል የሚል ኮንሴፕት አለና እዛ ጋር እንዴት ራን ማድረግ የምንችልበት እንዴት ነው የሚለውን ለመጠየቅ ያክል ነው። አመሰግናለሁ።
So I think የሆነ ይሄ ምናልባት የጀነራል ችግር ከሆነ we probably so በፕሮግራም ደረጃ ማለት ነው የፕሮግራሙ assumes that you have a basic Python and SQL. So basically because ያንን so even if it's just of course if you don't know it it's going to be harder, but we believe that you can still make it if you are very interested. There is a lot of resource and the tutors can assist in a group and more of like a special honor, but this is really the requirement. Like so በሶስት ወር አንድን ሰው ፕሮግራሚንግ አስተምሮ ከዛ እንትን ማድረጉ ይከብዳል unless ያ ሰው ያ ኢንትረስት ኖሮት overcome አድርጎ ዲል ካላረገው I don't believe that we will be able to do both. So I would say, like, if you don't know Python and SQL, it's going to be a struggle. But if you really try your best, we will then support as much as we can. So normally, that's the best we can do. Because a lot more field delay, AI, data science, data engineering, machine learning engineering, focused a lot more. It assumes that already people can self-learn የሚለው or self-learn አድርገው ይመጣሉ ወይም already አድርገዋል የሚለው the basic requirements ማለት ነው። But the rest of the thing, if you attempt, if you do your best, then we will also try to support as much as we can. ያንን accelerate የሚሆንበትን program.
Thank you በጣም እሺ አመሰግናለሁ። I will try my best.
Okay. እሺ so ጌታቸው
እሺ ሄሎ ይሰማል?
ሄሎ ይሰማል ጌታቸው።
እሺ አመሰግናለሁ እድል ስለተሰጠኝ ነው። እዚህ ኮርት አቴንድ ስላደረኩኝ ከልብ አመሰግናለሁ። እኔ ያለኝ ጥያቄዎች ምንድን ናቸው? የመጀመሪያው አይ ቲንክ አሁን በጠየቀው ጥያቄ ነካ ለማድረግ ሞክረሃልና አይ ቲንክ አድቫንስዱን ነው ኦር ቤዚክ ፓርቱን ነው የምንማረው የዲፕ ለርኒንግ ኦር የማሽን ለርኒንግ ፓርቱን የሚል አንድ እንትን አለኝ። ፕላስ ቱ ዛት ደግሞ ስኮፕ ውስጥ ከምን ያህል ድረስ ይሄዳል የነዚህ የምንማራቸው ማለት ጀስት እኔ አሁን ኮምፒውተር ኢንጂነር ነኝ። ሶ ማሽን ለርኒንግ በተወሰነ መልኩ ተምሬያለሁ፣ ፕሮጀክትም ሰርችበታለሁ እና እስከምን ድረስ ይሄዳል ያልኩትኝ ማሽን ለርኒንግ ፓርት አለው፣ ዲፕ ለርኒንግ ኢቭን ከዲፕ ለርኒንግ ደግሞ ስፔሲፊክ ሆነን ወረድ ብለን እንሄዳለን ወይስ ኦቨርቪው ነው ተምረን የምናልፈው? አንድ ይሄ ነው ጥያቄ። ሁለተኛ ደግሞ ብዙ ጊዜ እዚህ እንትን የምናደርገው እንደ ትሬኒንግ ነው ወይስ ክላስ ነው የሚሆነው? ማለት ትሬኒንግ ነው ስል ፕሮጀክት ቤዝድ ነው ወይ የሚሆነው? ብዙ ጊዜ የምንሰራቸው እንትኖች ነው ዝም ብሎ ሙሉ ክላስ ይሆንና ከዛ ያው በየክላሶቹ አሰስመንት ያለው ነገር ነው የሚሆነው። እነዚህ ለመጠየቅ ነው። አመሰግናለሁ።
ኦኬ So I think በጣም ጥሩ ጥያቄ ነው። አንደኛ ትሬን የምናደርገው ሪሊ ቤዚክ አድቫንስድ ምናምን የምንለውን ሞር ወደ ኋላ ትተን ካምፓኒ ላይ ምን ኒድ አላቸው a lot more business driven ያ ማለት it's not about skill as much it's about problem ምንድነው business problem solving so business has a problem and you need to solve it and if it requires deep understanding of deep learning then you have to learn it and you have to do it if it requires you're an EDA then you have to do it so in a sense we don't usually divide it it's not a class it's much more of more than any class you know you can think of it as internship you go to a company and the structured way your company is giving you tasks so there are tickets you know like in any software development you can think of like in Jira or any other task management the task management ላይ ታስኮች አሉ ቻሌንጅ አለ that means ያን ቻሌንጅ ፕሮጀክት በለው so the projecቶች ውስጥ ታስኮች አሉ እነዛን ታስኮች you solve it and እነዛን ታስኮች we become like the senior person who would set out those projects and those tasks the subtasks you do ለምሳሌ we just say okay the first one is አሁን ለምሳሌ week 0 ላይ we will give you a solar radiation data and now ያን solar radiation data you will need to do some EDA and with a business understanding that the company you are hired wants to invest right so you could be in a bank you know working and you know like as a like consulting like you know and so business or ያለውን portfolio እንዴት manage እንደሚያደርግ support analysis ልትሰጥ ትችላለህ in that sense like okay for that company you know where should they invest better የሚለው like ለምሳሌ በሶላር ራዲዬሽን ዴታዎቹ አሉ የሆነ or you collect them or you get you be given then you will be saying like okay you know I am going to first understand some domain even if I don't know about solar radiation but I have to understand it maybe physics but I don't care you know I'm just a machine learning or a data AI engineer that really solves problem and I will learn that domain knowledge right quickly right there right so and then I will just learn about okay you know what are the factors that impact ይሄንን እላለሁ but if I don't want even do ያንን of course a basic domain understanding help ስለሆነ እንደሱ አለው ከዛ በኋላ ግን probably I will use the usual tools that I have like random forest or MLP like ወይንም ደግሞ I might just go and I might use time series analysis I might do this I might do that right so and if it really requires if the data is dirty it gets complex and therefore I would just learn and to do it so in a way it's not really class based or tutorial they are just really to you know to provide you support now it's not training in the sense that you know it's much more of like you will be given just like in a Jira or any task management thing task ይሰጣል project አለ እነዛ complete አድርጎ ለነዛ requirement አላቸው you either deliver it in report or you just send your code or both so በዛ way ስለሚሄድ you will touch you know it's up to you you know how much is your skill that the depths that you would go is really dependent on you and we would provide of course feedback and we will assume you week by week you will improve and so for some of the things you might go really deep like in time series you might go deep because you already have certain knowledge but in for example computer vision you might be really just doing the basic right but knowing the platform and things and maybe when you repeat that same type of projects again and again you get more the depths ግልጽ ነው ጌታቸው I assume it is okay so then Jonathan
okay አመሰግናለሁ የኔ ጥያቄ ይሄንን ፕሮግራም ይሰማል አይደል
ይሰማል
እነዚህ የዚህ ፕሮግራም ላይ ሳያቸው የተካተቱት ፕሮግራሞች አብዛኞቹ የኢንተርናሽናል የሚፈልጉ ናቸው የማሽን ለርኒንግ የዳታ ኢንጂነሪንግ እነዚህ በጣም የሚፈልጉ እንትኖች ናቸው ፊልዶች ናቸውና ይሄንን ፕሮግራም ከጨረስን በኋላ ኢትዮጵያን ፊንቴክ ላይ ብቻ ነው ወይ ሊሚትድ የምንሆነው ወጣ ብለን ሌሎች ሀገሮች ላይ ወይ ውጭ ሀገሮች ላይ አፕላይ ልናደርግ አንችልም ወይ እና ለምንድን ነው ሊሚትድ የምንሆነው ኢትዮጵያ ላይ ብቻ የሚል ጥያቄ ነው ያለኝ። አመሰግናለሁ።
ኢትዮጵያ ላይ ሳይሆን አይ ቲንክ በጣም ጥሩ ጥያቄ ነው። ኢትዮጵያ ላይ የምንለው ማች ሞር ኦፍ ላይክ ለኢትዮጵያ ማለት ሞር ኦፍ አሁን በፊንቴክ ላይ ያሉ ጋፕ አለ ኢትዮጵያ ላይ ነው። እነሱን ሞላለን ነው እንጂ the same skill you can go and do it in the US ማለት ምንም የስኪል ትራንስፎርሜሽኑ በጣም እንትን ነው። so you might be hired ሌላ ቦታ right internationally it has nothing got to do የዶሜኑ just ኢትዮጵያ ያልነው ለምንድን ነው just እኛ I think you have to understand ቅድም ያልኩት ለሰው KAIM Academy does two types of programs. Almost all the other programs are Pan-African. So yeah, ማለት targeted again, just a young person, a graduate, talented person in Africa to be able to do global level job. So our mission and goal is that to provide, given that there might not be enough companies to absorb so you have to be able to work anywhere in the world, and the skill and everything you need should be that, right? So that's just KAIM Academy's 95% like all our graduates, like 95% of them got a job all over the world. You know, so if you go to the website, you will see like yet company which so now this part is a lot more focused for only Ethiopians. And one reason is because a lot of the people that got successful through Yenya program are Ethiopians. Just they work hard, they are very motivated, and a lot more of it, if they believe in it, they have the stamina, right? So in a way that success led to this, right? So to this support, so such that it has nothing got to do a localized kamadre game at Tasayon. Just because there were so many people that are successful in our program, and then there is a need, a very demand. You know, I can tell you like a lot more Kifiya were struggling as a company, was struggling to attract talent, get talent that delivers in this high end on because they needed high end on a skill. So that's how they wanted to solve their problem. But then they also know that every bank they work with, they have this problem, and so they said, okay, why not we just focus is that increase the number of people who would understand first financial sectors, and second with these skills. Now, those two skills, once you have, where you work is up to you, of course. But it's just the target is local skill, local adelam, concept local adelam. Nothing is local in that sense. It's just an opportunity for the Ethiopians. That's clear, Ephraim?
Thank you.
Thank you. Ephraim?
Okay, thank you. ይሰማል?
ይሰማል ኤፍሬም።
የመጀመሪያ ጥያቄ ምን ያህል ታይም ነው ስፔንድ ማድረግ የሚጠበቅብን? ሪኮመንድድ የሆነው ታይም ለዚህ ኮርስ ፐር ዴይ ብትነግረን። ሰሚሽን ዴት ብናሳለፍ ኢንኬዝ የተለያዩ ነገሮች ሊፈጠሩ ስለሚችሉ ዋት ዊል ሃፕን እዚህ ኮርስ ላይ ኮርሱን ከጨረስን በኋላ ምን አይነት እንትን ይኖረናል? ምን አይነት የስኪል ሌቭል ላይ እንደርሳለን? ኮርሱን በምንወስድበት ጊዜስ ኢንዲቪጁዋል አብዛኞቹ ታስኮች ኢንዲቪጁዋል ናቸው ወይስ ግሩፕ ታስክን ያጠቃልላል? ለምሳሌ ላይክ ጂራ ፕሮጀክት ማኔጅመንቱን አይነት እንድንጠቀም ማለት ነው። ይሄን ያለኝ እና ደግሞ ክላሱን አቴንድ ማድረግ ላይቭ ሴሽኑን ማንዳቶሪ ነው ወይም ካሉ ማንዳቶሪ ያልሆኑ ካሉ እነሱን ብታሳውቀን። Thank you.
Yeah. Again, good. Maybe I might miss one. I think የመጀመሪያውን ረስቼው ሊሆን ይችላል። ግን yes, አንደኛው ከመጨረሻው ብጀምር we understand የእናንተን situation. So that means you are working. Because you are working, you probably will not attend some sessions. So nothing is mandatory in that sense. But we highly encourage when you can't attend the stand-ups, because just like in Dalkut internships, we call the names and suggest you. It's a stand-up. That means you just update what you have done, your challenge, and what you plan to do and what you have done, right? So any blockers, like there's a quick update, I'll stand up. Then tutorials are just much more of like, if people are struggling that to just completely give support, you can think of those tutorials as in a work, your colleagues, your seniors that already knows that thing, so They can answer some things, or they tell you other related things that might help you as you work. But then I think so that's بالتالفو deadline ምናምን. Again, a lot more we try to be more about work. So sometimes if a work is needed very quickly, so we might just set it that way. But a lot more we tolerate, given that you have this particular situation you might be working. Then there are only a few, like I think it's already in the documents you will receive. For each of the challenge, there is going to be saying like, okay, this to the level that you can submit. Beyond this, we will not create. It's much more of for us to analyze, to do the assessment. So we will accept until a certain time. If you are late, certain time might be accepted, but afterwards submit, but we might not be able to give you feedback. So yeah, no. Was there anything missing?
ኦኬ ሰሚሽኑ ካለፈ ክላሱን ቀጣይ ዊክ ላይ ያለውን አቴንድ ማድረግ እንችላለን ማለት ነው።
So it's I think it's in general, like we encourage you to submit as much as you can, but even if you don't submit, sometimes it's fine, right? So in a way, if you really can't, but of course there is a requirement. If you don't submit below, out of we will tell you that number. I don't have that number now, but out of, let's say, in total expected number of submissions are, let's say, 20. If you don't submit below, let's say 12 of them or 15 of them, we might not give you certificate, but still you will. So, and we encourage you, even if you are late to submit. So I think we will really understand. So I think of it this way. Our goal is for you to succeed. And as long as you have interest, we will accommodate. But we don't want people that are just taking it less serious. As long as you take it serious, I think we will go a long way to accommodate your needs. Does that give you a clear, because that has to be clear to everyone. I think we don't want just to deal only with people that doesn't have interest. But if you have interest, we will go a long way to deal with it and to understand and accommodate.
Okay. ኢንዲቪዥዋል እና ግሩፕ ይኖረናል ወይስ ሁሉም አሳይመንቶች ኢንዲቪዥዋል?
Yes, there are some of the challenges we call them challenge, so maybe the terminology wise. So each week's, like the what we provide is just called challenge, and within those challenges there are tasks. So yeah, some challenges are group tasks and some challenges are individuals.
ኦኬ ፕላትፎርማችሁ ላይ እንዳየሁት ከሆነ ከ95% በላይ የሚሆኑት ሃየርድ ሆነዋል አይደለም? እንደዛ ነው የሚለው ፕላትፎርማችሁ ላይ የቴን አካዳሚ፣ በተለይ ቴን አካዳሚ ፕላትፎርም ላይ አይ ቲንክ 3 አይነት ኮርሶች ነው ያሉት። አንዱ ይሄኛው የክፍያ ያ 95% በላይ የሆኑት ሃየርድ ሆነዋል የተባለው ያለው ዳታ ለሁለቱ ኮርሶች ነው። ይሄኛው አይ ቲንክ ካልተሳሳትኩ
ይሄኛው ገና
ሁለተኛ ባች ስለዚህ ባለፈው ባች ላይ ሲዲ ያደረጋችሁት ነገር ካለ በተማሪዎቻችሁ እሱን ነገር ብታሳውቁ ፈቃደኛ ከሆናችሁ።
I think you should contact them as well. But as I said, for example, all banks are now interviewing, or not all banks, many banks that came during graduation, they are looking to hire from those cohort. But already 5 people have a position reserved that will be hired. So as long as they want. So Kifiya, the company itself wants to hire, of course, some, like five of them. So in a way that we will compile that number. That's very short time between that cohort finishing and this cohort starting. So we don't have that number yet. But we hope that almost all will have some offer one way or another. Whether they accept or not is going to be up to them. But I would assume that they have a bright future.
Okay, thank you.
I think a lot more of it is just the skill that they can work anywhere. So that's the main reason why I'm more confident. Okay, so Hailamike, then Samawit, then Hallelujah. So Hailamike.
ይሰማል?
ይሰማል። Hailamike.
እሺ አመሰግናለሁ ለዚህ ኮርስ አድሚን ስላደረጋችሁኝ። እኔ ያለኝ ጥያቄ ዊክ ዜሮ ላይ ምን ያህል ኮሚትመንት ነው አትሊስት ማሳየት ያለብን የሚለው አንደኛው። ሁለተኛው ደግሞ ትሬኒንግ ቅድም ስታወራ እየሰማሁ ነበርና ጀስት ትሬኒንጉ እኛ ከሚጠበቅብን አሳይመንት አንጻር ሞር ማች ቢያደርግ የተሻለ ነው። ጀስት ለማለት የፈለግኩት ኤግዛምፕሎች ቢኖሩት እና ምናልባት ከቨር ማድረግ ያለብን ሪኮሜንዴሽን እንትን ቶፒኮች ካሉ እነሱን እንትን ከማድረግ አንጻር ማለት ነው። ከቨር እነዚህን ሪኮማንድ ከማድረግ አንጻር የሚለውን አትሊስት ሞር እሱ ላይ ትሬኒንጉን ያን ከቨር ቢያደርግ የሚል እንትን አለኝ። ሌላ ጆብ ማቺንግ አይኖራችሁም ወይ እንደ ቴን አካዳሚ? አይ ቲንክ ቴን አካዳሚ 3 ወር ትሬኒንግ በኋላ 3 ወር ማች ከስራ የመፈለግ ፕሮሰስ እንደሆነ ሰምቻለሁ እና ከሀገር ውጭም ካሉ የስራ ሶርሶች ጋር ማቺንግ ፓርትነርሺፕ ምናምን ብትፈልጉልን እንደ ቴን አካዳሚ የተሻለ ነው እና እሱን ነው ለመጠየቅ የፈለጉት አላችሁ ወይ የሚለው።
I think as you know, as we are committed to support, so that you, of course, the more you spend time and upskill yourself and show promise, I think this will be dependent on that, right? So, but exactly, we will work to do local, or especially the local ones. That's we're committed mostly for now. That, of course, at least one way or another, that the skill that you get here, you actually apply it. Because I mean, a skill that is not applied is just dead for us. So that means we're not training you for you to be better in that skill, because that's not the target. The target is that you go into a job and you make impact through that. It doesn't matter how, but the skill must be exercised, and the skill must have a business impact or a financial impact, both for you financially as well as also for the company that you hired. So even for this, of course, projects, we will be a lot more relying on global as well as local needs. So that means we're not just going to be like only finding like what is CBE skill ምንድነው ያጠረው ብለን ለሱ ለመሙላት አይደለም የምንሄደው። we interview and we work with them to understand what are the type of data that they have, the gaps that they have. We will try to recreate some of the challenges here, but the skills and the knowledge and all the competencies needed, it should not be depending where you are. The CBE America የሚሰራ ሰው should solve the problem, and CBE የሚሰራ ሰው አሜሪካ ያለ problem solve ማድረግ አለበት. So in a way, it should not be dependent. The skill that solves a problem is not dependent geographically. The data formats ምናምኑ more matter ያደርጋል, and we try to accommodate የዛን data format, because we also work with the financial sectors as well. We understand ያሉትን ዴታዎች ችግሮች, and so you will deal with them. So I think እዚህ ጋም የከፈትኩት just much more to give you a brief highlight what in the week there is going to be. So for example, in week 1 you will do a lot more of financial news analysis, but this is a lot more of, because what you get sometimes is በኢትዮጵያ ቦታ ላይ a lot more ኒውሶችን ሊሆን ይችላል more than data. So market movement understand ማድረግ በሱ it's very relevant, because correlation between this is basically, you can call it triangulation. You are triangulating one data from news and sentiments of how people share in social media to market data. So that's much more of a time series correlation that's very much needed anywhere you have, especially now that the opening of like this foreign exchange, as well as also the Ethiopian exchange, stock exchange. Those things would really become relevant. But wherever you are also it will be relevant. And again, in telecommunication industries, they have lots of data, and you sometimes need, even for credit score, for example, if you are working for certain banks, you might be relying on telecommunication data on, you know, how much a person, for example, bought airtime, or how much they talk, or how much they, for example, data they use, and things like that. And so even if the data comes from another African country, you will see that here. And then, of course, risk prediction in insurance is very important. So if you are working for insurance parts, you know, you have to understand what is you know, underwriting and the terminologies, as well as also some of the things that matters and influences insurance, because, you know, finance is a highly regulated business. So being able to understand how much you can do, and, you know, what is accuracy and explainability like that you need is important. And then, of course, also just sometimes you need to extract, for example, for Kifiya to understand, you know, you might ask, your app might ask people to submit some, you know, photograph, you know, some documents or something, and you need to probably understand from whatever they write, named entity recognition, things like that is important. And again, you need to produce sometimes models that predict that for planning and for management as well. And then others like credit scoring and risk modeling is very important. You understand both the terminologies, as well as also, you know, what goes inside the lack of data and the challenges associated to it. Data house, and how to bring together many data from hacks, from this, from that, you know, from people, transaction data, from, you know, surveys that you do, things, and bring them in one place for your own part is important. And fraud detections, and also understanding whether a change in policy, for example, does it have impact on a certain thing, for example, on, you know, the policy on የሲቢ ባንክ ፖሊሲ ቼንጅ ለምሳሌ ያነ እንትኑን ቀይሮታል፣ የሌሎች ባንኮች የመግዛትና የማበደር አቅምን አድርጎታል። እንደ ነገሮችን ለመመለስ you might probably need to do some statistical modeling of pain point analysis or time series type of forecasting, optimizing this and that. So then, of course, we want you also, I think this is the part, we want you also to be able to do to see what in different aspects and different competitions globally, what they do. And some of them, they might help you because they ሌሎች ምን እንደሚሰሩ በሴልስም በኢንሹራንስም በቸርን ፕሬዲክሽንም እነዚህ ማየት ትችላለች። So this is the type of things that you do. So as you can see, the data is also some of them coming, and it's a lot more accommodates many of the needs ብዙ ባንኮች ውስጥ ብዙ ፋይናንሻል ሴክተሮች ውስጥ የምትሰሩት። So hopefully that gives you an idea ለአንተም ለሌሎቹ። ኦኬ ሰላማዊት
ሄሎ ሄሎ ያብዱር
ሄሎ ሰላማዊት ሂድና ሃሌሉያ ከዛ በኋላ ትሄዳለህ። ሰላማዊት
ካሪኩለሙን ከፍ ብታደርግልህ
ይሰማል።
እኔ የምጠይቀው ጥያቄ አብዛኛው ተጠይቋል በልጆቹ፣ ግን ይሄ የሰብሚሽን ዴድላይናችን ምናምን ግልጽ አልሆነልኝም እና ስቀጥል ደግሞ የምንገባው ይሄ ኦንላይን ሚቲንግ ላይ የምንገባው እና ስላክ ላይ የምንገባቸው ሊሚቶች አሉ። ለምሳሌ የሆነ ሰው አሳይመንቱን ሰብሚት የሚያደርግበት ሊሚት አለ። ይሄን ያህል ሰብሚት ካደረገ ነው ሰርቲፋይድ ሊሆን የሚችለው ተብሏል። እና ማለት ምን ያህል ነው ቁጥሩ ስፔሲፊክ ነው ቢገለጽልን። እና ስቀጥል ደግሞ ይሄ ኦንላይን እንገባው ሚቲንግ ላይ አቴንዳንስ ሊኖረው ይገባል። ይሄን ያህል ቀን ማለት ሚኒመም ሊሚቱ ቢነገረን፣ ይሄን ያህል ቀን ያደረገ ነው ሰርቲፋይድ ነው ማለት ሙሉ እንዳሉ ኦንላይን ክላሱን የምንገባው ስላክ ላይ የምንገባው እና የሰብሚሽን ዴድላይን ከምን ያህል ሰዓት በኋላ ሌት ይሆናል እና ስንት ነው ሰብሚት ባናደርገው ሰርቲፋይድ ይሆናል ነው የሚለው ነገር ቢነገረን። እና ሲቀጥል ደግሞ ዊኮችን በጨረስን ቁጥር ለቀጣይ ዊኩ ተዘጋጅተን መጣት ያለብን ነገር ይነገራል።
So I think የመጀመሪያው ጥሩ እንትኑ ምንድነው ዴድላይን ምንድነው you should not be that much worried since that this will be very super clear. Like you will be reminded. You will know already challenge document ላይ so ለምሳሌ አንድ challenge document የዚህን ዊክ ባሳይ
እንዴት ነው ልልህ የፈለኩት ኪሎ
ያ
ለምሳሌ ይሰማል
ይሰማል
አሁን ለምሳሌ እኔ የሚመቸኝ እሑድን መቅደም ብቻ ነው ሌላ ቀን ላይ አይመቸኝም እና ለምሳሌ አሁን ሰብሚሽን ዴድላይን ነው ዛሬ ተምረን ነገ ከሰዓት ቢሆን ላይመቸኝ ይችላል ማለት በጣም ማለት ያቅታል ነገር ያቅተኛል እና ማለት ኦፕን ቢደረግልኝ የሆነ ሰዓት ሊሚት እንትን ቢሆን ለማለት ፈልጌ ነው ልጆች አሉት ነው
ያ ሶ ስለማለትም የፈለኩት ነው አይ ቲንክ ያንቺ ችግር የብዙዎቹም ችግር ነው right so sometimes you don't have a linear time ሁሌ available የምትሆኑበት time የለም and we want to accommodate so በዛ የተነሳ of course slightly we encourage I think what we don't want is ብቻሽን ሆነሽ you will be because we know the challenge it's going to be challenging you will if you don't try to come in and feel the community you'd really just drop we have a lot of churn I can tell you honestly that a lot of people would go not finished and mostly it's because it really is dealing with these things is very challenging so the only people that most people that are really finished are the ones when they come to the community participate just on direction salamite if you are open and asking and things it gets easier and I can guarantee you will finish but if you're not if you just disappear unfortunately the challenges are not easy or they're challenging enough that you might be you might drop out so እሱን ለመቀነስ we encourage you but with respect to ለምሳሌ attendance we are very much lenient ያ ማለት ምንም ብዙ we will understand ቀደም ያልኩት አንድና አንድ define የሚያደርገው that as long as you have interest as long as you're trying we will go far to accommodate you so is our mission because we want people that are interested at all costs we know that you have to deal with many things and we will help we will try to help as much and so that means ቁጥሩ አሁን ያልሽው ቁጥር ይናገራል ግልጽ ነው but as long as you submit enough just like አሁን ፕሮግራሙ ቅዳሜና እሑድን ሞር እንድትሰሪና እንድትጨርሽ ሲል ለማድረግ የታቀደ ነው so ቅድም ያልኩት አይነት ለምሳሌ እነዚህ ኪ ዴቶች ቻሌንጅ ዶክመንቱ የምትቀበዩ ላይ you have it like መቼ ነው ቻሌንጁ ኢንትሮዲዩስ የሚሆነው ሰሚሽኑ መቼ ነው ይሄን በዚህ ታይም ላይ በዚህ ነው በቃ አለቀ that's clear በኋላ ላይ ደግሞ exactly even ታቹ ላይ መጥቶ in much more detail due date for submission friday ነው ጊታብ ሊንክ ምንድነው ጊታብ ሊንክ ፋይናል ሪፖርት እና ቦነስ ሊንክ ነው በቃ right so ይሄ ግልጽ ነው ሁሌ ቻሌንጅ ዶክመንቱ tells all the story everything that you need in the challenge for that usually is in the challenge document so in one document you have every other thing the program the calendar ምናምን አለው including tutorial ምን አለ you will just also know እዚህ ጋር ቱቶሪያሉ መቼ ቱቶሪያል አለ አንዱ ከሰዓት ነው አንዱ ጠዋት ሁሉ ጊዜ ታይም አንድ አይነት ስለሚሆን like ብዙ ጊዜ this gets also easier በኋላ ላይ ማለት ነው okay so በዚህ የተነሳ you will know exactly you will have the data what is the requirements ቁጥሩ ምን ያህል ሰብሚት መደረግ አለበት I think it might be even written here in terms of okay zigela but usually it's also written ምን ያህል ሌት ሆነሽ ሰብሚት ማድረግ ትችላለሽ የሚለውም እዚህ ላይ ቻሌንጅ ዶክመንቱ ላይ ይገባል so challenge document it tries to really give you everything in one okay so does it address ያንቺን እንትን
ግን አሁን ለምሳሌ ዶክመንቱ ጋር ያለው ፍራይዴይ ነው የሚለው አይደል አሁን ለምሳሌ አብዛኛችን ማለት እንደማስበው ከሆነ አብዛኞቹ ሰዎች ስራ ላይ የሚውሉት ማለት አትሊስት ሳተርዴይ ቢሆንልን ችግር አለ
okay good point I think ይሄኛው ለዚህ ዊክ ብቻ ነው like ለዚህ ነበረች like የሁለት ቀን ስለሆነች a lot more ግን now given that we understand we will communicate probably we'll make it Saturday end of day so that people have at least one day they can work fully yes I think we didn't think about ይሄኛው እቺ ይሯት አጭር ስለሆነች we thought 2 days በቂ ነው ብለን ግን we will make it we will update it I think that's a good point ስለዚህ we will make it Saturday end of day. Okay. Yeah. Does that address your intent? Like questions? Okay, I assume so. Salamait, then hallelujah.
Thank you so much. በጣም ነው የማመሰግነው። My question ቅድም ኤፍሬም ያው ብዙ ጥያቄዎችን አንስቶ ስለነበረ ትንሽ ስኪፕ የተደረገ መሰለኝ ጥያቄ ነው። ማለትም ምን ያህል ታይም ዲማንድ ያደርጋል ዊክሊ? It depends on the challenge ግን ሬንጁ ምን ያህል ኮሚትመንት ይጠብቅብናል የሚለው ነገር አድሬስ ቢደረግ ማለት ነው።
I think ሳልመልሰው አልፌያለሁ። Thank you for እንደገና መጠየቅ እና ማስታወስ። So what is expected the challenge ስናደርገው? So normally challengeዎቹ we define them to be between 30 and 40 hours. So but the average በሳምንት ውስጥ ከ20 actually it's like some of them depending on your skill it might just only take you 20. So ከ20 እስከ call it this way ከ25 እስከ 35 ባለው ውስጥ አብዛኛው ሰው comfortably ይጨርሳል ያን ያህል ታይም ካረገ። ያ ማለት ቅዳሜና እሑድን ሙሉ ከተጠቀመ አንድ ሰው ከተጠቀመች that basically would give you around 10 hours እዛ ላይ ብንል more or less you would get about 20 hours for that. So all you need ከዊኩ ወደ 5 ሰዓት አካባቢ ነው ማለት ነው። so ከሌላው ቀን so ያ ማለት 1 ሰዓት እንኳን በቀን ቢሰራ አንድ ሰው ሌሎቹ እና ሙሉን ቅዳሜና እሑድ ከሰራ in principle they will be able to complete.
Thank you so much.
Okay. And some people again with if they don't have like if they are starting and of course they have to work slightly more so that means they have to work maybe 30 hours more. So I think የኛ ዲዛይን ያ average time ባለው ታለንት የምንቀበለው 30 hours ነው። like 30 hours per week and so እና አሁን ቅዳሜና እሑድን ስለሚያጠቃል ቅዳሜና እሑድ የመስሪያ ሰዓት ነው። So if you use those times very well you'll be able to do the rest of the weeks by just doing even 1 or 2 hours in the evening you'll be able to complete. Okay.
Thank you.
Mahalet, do you want to add? And yeah.
ምናልባት ሰዓት እየሄደብን ስለሆነ ጥያቄዎችን ላይ ስላክ ላይ ማንሸራሸር ስለምንችል እዛ ላይ እንጻፍና ሁሉም ያለውን ኮንሰፕት ከዛ በተጨማሪ ደግሞ
just this is good. I think it gives for everyone. This is the first day. It's important that let's just finish every question. And I know that some people have to drop, but it is important that we clarify everything so that you start very like with everything very clear. So Nasun Nargona, okay. So Gideon, sorry, Gideon, Gaddafi.
ሄሎ ይሰማል?
ይሰማል።
አመሰግናለሁ። የኔ ጥያቄ ከዶሜኑ ጋር የተያያዘ ነው። ከዶሜኑ ጋር ማለት ምንድነው? አንድ ሰው ጀነራል የሆነው ኤአይ ላይ እየሰራ ያለ ሰው እና ስፔሲፊካሊ ፊንቴክ ላይ እየሰራ ያለ ሰው በምን ያህል ዲግሪ ነው የሚለያዩት? ሁለተኛ ደግሞ እዚህ ሴክተር ላይ እየሰራ ያለ ሰው ወደ ሌሎች ሴክተሮች መሄድ ቢፈልግ ምን ያህል ከስኪሉ ውስጥ ምን ያህል ፐርሰንቱ ትራንስፈሬብል ነው የሚል ጥያቄ ነው ያለኝ። አመሰግናለሁ።
ገደቤ አይ ቲንክ ብዙ ጊዜ አሁን እኔ ቅድም እንዳልኩት ኤሪያዬ አክቹዋል ትሬኒንግ ፒኤችዲ ምናምን ከዛም በኋላ የሰራውበት በአጠቃላይ ኢንዱስትሪ for a long time was astrophysics. Now it didn't matter like እዛም ሰራው ሞዴሊንግ ነው። ከዛ ሄጄ ከኤምኦኤች ጋር የዲዚዝ ሞዴሊንግ ስሰራ it was I didn't know the domain then it was just እንትኑ አንድ አይነት like the formalism is አንድ አይነት ለምንድን ነው it's just it needs a lot of programming, it needs algorithms and data structures. And then ከዛ በኋላ it's much more of like you know, you understanding ስትሰራው አብረህ ዶሜኑን አንደርስታንድ አድርገዋለህ። but the skills are going to be the same. So machine learning programming ለሁሉም ፊልድ አንድ ነው። Python programming ለሁሉም ፊልድ አንድ ነው, right? Of course maybe the variables you write ምናምን ይለያያሉ, and some of the package that you use maybe biology ላይ ስትሄድ versus እንትን ላይ ይለያያል, ግን ፕሮግራሚንጉ ይለያያል። ማሽን ለርኒንግ ኤአይ እና ዴታ ኢንጂነሪንግም ሲሚላር ነው። ዶሜንለስ ናቸው by nature, but you then የዶሜን ኖሌጁ ደግሞ በጣም ፕሮብሌሙን ሶልቭ እንድታደርግ ይጠቅማል። so you usually provide ያንን እዛው ላይ እያረክ ደግሞ ዶሜን ኖሌጁን ትማራለህ። so the same skill that you do to do credit insurance modeling disease modeling ላይ you will use similar things, like in terms of like algorithms, maybe sort ለማድረግ አንድ ነገር you might need to sort, you might need to apply clustering, you might need to do, you know, predictive ነገሮች እነዚህ አንድ ናቸው። you might still use random forest እዚህም ጋር እዛም ጋር random forest, or k-means እዚህ ጋር እዛ ጋር k-means, or deep learning እዚህ ጋር to understand I don't know a brain image ወይም ደግሞ የሳምባ x-ray image እዚህኛው ጋር ደግሞ deep learning for financial statementዎቹን እንትን ለማድረግ you see, like things would be very transferable. The algorithms are the same, but the way of thinking, sensitivity becomes different. So that means disease model ስታደርግ sensitivity accuracy ማድረግ ያለብህ ምናልባት is very different from financial risk. ምክንያቱም maybe that a bank has a much more stringent policy while maybe a research institute might not have, right? ለፔፐር የምትሰራው የሪሰርች ከሆነ it's probably no one dies or no one loses money, so you probably are a bit fine, right? You can be experimental. But bank ላይ ስትመጣ ግን maybe you have to explain why you deny someone loan. You have to explain, or why you are approving a loan, because ባንኩ በጣም ሴንሲቲቭ ነው ለእንደዚህ አይነት ነገሮች, given that they are administering somebody's money. Or disease modeling ላይ ስትሄድ apply የሚደረግ ከሆነ ለፖሊሲ you have to be very sensitive because it might affect lots of people and ምናምን. So sensitivity, what you have to focus and what accuracy and uncertainty you have to do might be very different from domain to domain. Then the algorithms, the things that you do are going to be the same. So it's very transferable. So someone from financial sectors, fintech, ሄዶ health ላይ or health ወደዚህ ወይም ከዚህ ወደዛ መሄድ ይችላል. As long as they do their job well, it shouldn't matter. Hopefully that addresses your question, David.
Thank you.
Okay. እሺ ደግሰው እንደገና
አመሰግናለሁ። ይሰማል?
ይሰማል።
እሺ ሁለት ኮስቹምስ ያለኝ፣ አንደኛ ላይክ የሚሰጥበት መንገድ ወይም ኮርስ የሚሰጥበት አሁን ኢንስትራክተር የሚልም እያየው ነው ቻሌንጆቹ ላይ፣ ኦሪልስ ደግሞ ላይክ አሁን ኦንላይን የሆነ ኢንስትራክተር ኖሮ የምንማራቸው ነገሮች ይኖራሉ፣ ኦር ጀስት ሪሶርስ እና ቻሌንጆቹ ናቸው የሚሰጡን። አሁን ሪሶርስ የሚል ነገር ስላላየው ነው ላይክ አሁን በጣም ኢንተርኔት ላይ በጣም ብዙ ሪሶርስ ነው ያለው ስለሆነ ነገር ብንጠይቅ ሶ የተሻለ ወይም ደግሞ ስፔሲፊካሊ ጥሩ እንትን ያሉትን ፈልጎ ማግኘት ነው አስቸጋሪ የሚሆነው። ስለዚህ ሪሶርሶቹም አብረው ከቻሌንጆቹ ጋር ለዛ ግባት የሚሆኑ አብረው ነው የሚቀመጡት በእያንዳንዱ ቻሌንጅ አይነት፣ ወይስ ጀስት ላይክ ያን ዲግ ማድረግ የኛ ፋንታ ሆኖ እዚህ ጋር መምህራኖቹ የሚሰጡት ኮርስ ነው የሚኖረው ላይክ ምን ገብተህ መማር ያለብን ነገር ምናምን። አንደኛው ይሄ ነው። ሁለተኛው ደግሞ ምን ያክል ነው ሬት የምታደርጉት? ማለት 3 መንዝ ማለት ለእኔ ትንሽ ነው ላይክ ብዙ ነገር ከበር ለማድረግ ሶ ከዚህ ከጊዜው አንጻር እና ከሚሰጠው ትሬኒንግ አንጻር ላይክ ምን ያክል ነው ትምህርቱ ወይም ትሬኒንግ ሬት የምታደርጉት ምን ያክል ነው? ላይክ ኮምፒቲቲቭ ለመሆን ኢንተርናሽናሊ ምናምን ምን ያክል ነው ሬት የሚደረገው የሚለው ነው። አመሰግናለሁ።
ጉድ እንዳየኸው አይ ቲንክ ቀየርኩት። ኢንስትራክተር የሚባል የለም፣ ፋሲሊቴተርስ ነው ያለው። ሶ ያ ማለት we don't have courses, we have just challenge document, that's it. All you have for every challenge document, that states clearly what is the business objective. The business objective is the most what defines everything. So that means this is a more of an internship that I have that you do and what it wants to, it will not state it from data science objective perspective, but business objective. The business objective is
ይቆራረጣል። የኔ ነው ወይስ ለሁላችሁም ነው? ላይክ
ለሁላችሁ
እየተቆራረጠ ነው።
ኦኬ ሶ ሜቢ ጀስት ማይ ኔትወርክ አሁንስ
አሁን ጥሩ ነው። ፋሲሊቴተርስ ከሚለው በኋላ ፎሎ አለ።
Okay, so what about now? Like, ይሰማል?
ይሰማል።
አሁን ጥሩ ነው።
What needs to be done as a business? And that's the most crucial component of a challenge document. And then the other parts, us, like the team, the 10 Academy team, and the tutors, or the facilitators, are more, you can consider them senior people that are you're working with. They translate yanin business objective into a data science or a data engineering or an AI objective. So yeah, I translate no matter. But that's the very first thing you have to answer is the business objectives. So we focus entirely on that, and all you have to understand first, without that understanding, skill Python. There is a business objective, you need to answer it. That's it. You need to address the business objective. To do so, we follow a certain framework, and you will get introduced to it. It's called CRISP-DM. So that basically means after the business objective, you try to explore your data, whether it's called data understanding. Do I have sufficient data that will address the business objective? Then once I have a data understanding, then I go data exploration. So that to help me understand, let me say that, okay, the data, the quality, then confidence, then through that, that's called EDA, much more of like machine learning modeling aspect, and modeling, then interpretation, deployment. So we follow, this is circular. So of course it's not a linear intent, it's all circular. So the point is that the formula, you are repeating the same formula again and again and again. It is not a, you start, and the most important part is the business objective. That we bring it from industry. We don't just write it. Usually we bring it from industry, or we talk through job descriptions, or what other companies ask in Kaggle or Zika Zagainas. Then young business objective formalized, then we translate in the senior or in the facilitator, we translate in the task. We break it down into epics. Tasks are like epics, and we break it into epics, and then an epic sub-component and set on, then you will be asked as a junior person now in this area coming, we translated for you from business objective to data science objective, but you have to understand the two differences. So that means, because if you were to do it on Banku Sitgaba, you might need to do both yourself. So you need to understand the business objective, how we translate it as well, whether the translation is good or not. You can write comment. That's usually interim report to me. A lot more, you just plan and data understanding EDA. So then, so that means there is no, like, if you think of it, all there is a project that is divided, and with a business objective. That project is a business objective, and that's divided into epics, into tasks, and then into subtasks, into tickets. And then you are solving, or you're given that time and doing as much as you can, right? Okay. So then we give you references. So we give you references at the end of every challenge document that actually then help you. That reference resources in this case are the tutorials plus the references we give you. You know? Okay, so let me stop there if that makes sense. Think so.
ያ ተመልሶልኛል። ይሄ አንደኛው ኮስችን ብቻ ላይ ሬት የሚለው ነገር ማለት if it makes sense like
rating የምትለው so we use a formalism that is the generalizable formalism. So ያ ማለት okay externally accredited የሆነ ነገር አይደለም, but our accreditation is that you get a job, right? Or people got a job, like and that is, we believe on that more than any accreditation. Do people you know, do people get a job? And not only that, once they get a job, do they grow in that job? So, and normally that's what's happening. And that's the most important for us, is that a lot more of our people got senior in 3 years and in a very competitive environment. So, in one way to check it is you can talk to people that have been trained both on this program, on the Kifiya AIM, as well as also. Yeah, so that is our accreditation or rating. Okay, great. Rabuma, sorry. Rabuma Milisha. Sorry that if I mispronounce your name.
Damas?
ይሰማ።
ኦኬ አመሰግናለሁ ለድሉ። አይን መጠየቅ
ሄሎ
እና ፓይተን የሚለውን
I think ማይክህ እንትን ስላለ አንድ አይሰማም። አንዳንዴ ይሰማል፣ አንዳንዴ አይሰማም።
አሁን ይሰማል?
አሁን ይሰማል።
ኦኬ
አሁን አይሰማም እያወራህ እኮ ነው። Okay, maybe you can write it. I assume እዚህ ጋር የነበረውን ጥያቄዎች ሌሎቹ የመለሱት ስለነበር ቴክስቱ ላይ assume that many of the questions has ተመልሰዋል ብዬ አስባለሁ። ራቡማ ምናልባት ማውራት ከቻልክ አሁን በለውና ካልሆነ just ወደ እንትኑ እንዲሄድ። Okay. Do you want to try it again, Rabuma? Okay, if not, so then before I quit, what I wanted to go through is the challenge document. This week's basically week 0 challenge document. It's going to be 3 days, or Saturday end of day will be the final, because this is just much more of for alignment. ማለት በእናንተ ሳይድ እንድታውቁት ምን አይነት እንደምንጠይቅ፣ በእኛም ሳይድ ደግሞ ምን ያህል of course people are interested and will deliver ነው. So whatever you have, just deliver. And if you do that, if you show us interest, ቅድምም ብዬዋለሁ አሁንም ደግሜ እለዋለሁ, we will go a long way accommodate ለማድረግ ያለባችሁን ሁኔታ, because we understand የሚኖርባችሁን. So whatever you have, even if it's different, it's new for you, just submit and tell us that you are interested, and this will be a much more will be an intentional. So week 0 challenge you, it's already like you already have it. So በጣም clear ነው ምን እንደሆነ ፐርፐዙ የዊክ 0, and if it's not clear you should really read this one. በቃ basically like even if you get in or you don't get in, it will give you you will learn how in industry things are done, right? What are expected, how businesses are stated, and from those businesses, business objectives, እንዴት data science ወይም ደግሞ data engineering ወይም AI engineering የሆነ or automation የሆነ objective እንዴት translate ሁለቱ translation ናቸው። ምክንያቱም በቢዝነስ ኦብጀክቲቭ ስቴት የሚያደርገው በምን እንደሚሰራለት ስቴት አያደርግም። all it requires is that it needs, sometimes it needs answer, sometimes it needs system, sometimes it needs product, sometimes it እንደዛ ነው እንጂ ስቴት የሚያደርገው it doesn't know how, you know, what kind of language you should write, you know, maybe even በጸሎትም የሚመጣ ከሆነ it's fine ለቢዝነስ ኦብጀክቲቭ in part as long as repeatable እስከሆነ ድረስ, right? So as long as ይሄን አሟልቶ ቢዝነስ ኦብጀክቲቭን like ለቢዝነሱ ግሮውስ የቢዝነሱን ኦብጀክቲቮች የሚያሟላው የቢዝነሱን KPIዎች እስካሟላ ድረስ. And of course most of the casting of እነዛ ፕሮብሌሞች ዴታ ካስቲንግ ይሆናሉ። so ይሄንን ስናነብ for example we literally will know it moonlight energy solutions strategic approach ተጠቅሞ that efficient እና sustainable የሆነውን ነገር ሶላር ኢንቨስትመንት ላይ ማዋል ነው በቃ ጎሉ, right? That's the company's KPI, and one of, you know, one task along that company's እንትኑ ምንድነው, it is they hired of course analytics engineer, data engineers, and you are in this case assume you are an analytics engineer and you are going to report to the CEOs and to the team, basically to the your team lead on insights that you extract from data that is provided related to a strategic investment. So that, you see, like that's the business objective. Strategic investment solar ላይ የሆነ ቦታ ላይ መስፋት ይፈልጋሉ, and they want to invest, they have finite money, but they want to select sites for investment, and there is data, and they have asked you, or you know, the team lead, just, you know, just to take a look at this data and tell us, you know, some recommendation based on analysis. They don't know, these are CEOs probably, they don't know what, you know, what algorithms you should use. So yeah, እነሱ stated from a business perspective, so that is the case, and we translate it for you, and the data is this. So of course the data that's given, the data is even chosen by, of course, vague nodes, the senior team lead, yeah, administrative or executive body የሚነግረው በvague ደረጃ ነው። we want to do that, we want to invest that, you know, your team should do this ብሎ ነው። then your team lead selects data. In this case we selected solar radiation measurement data, as I said ቅድም ፋሲሊቴተሮቹን the senior ማየት ትችላላችሁ on the team lead. Then okay, because we think this is an appropriate data, we selected this. We think this would answer, have something with regard to answering the data understanding የራሳችን ወስደን it might answer your business objective on አለን. Then we give you just, you know, the data, metadata. So it has of course IoT ወይም ደግሞ sensor data ነው. It has a measurement, just this is a yearly measurement, hourly, per minute, aggregate ተደርጎ የሰከንድ ዴታውን እኛ ራሳችን በሚኒት አድርገነው ነው። then it has measurements with respect to solar power or radiance, with respect to, you know, horizontal and direct normal, diffusion, እና different sensor measure ያደረጉት of course, and then the temperature, ambient temperature, relative humidity, wind, እና ሌሎች ነገሮች. So this is just the data we think you should analyze and give us some insights. Okay, and if you want to know what will be covered, of course Python programming, GitHub, data understanding, CI/CD, and Streamlit will be covered. So basically we give you in breaks and okay, because this project will be a longer term, so you have to set up really in a very professional manner, because በኋላ ላይ ጥያቄ ሊመጣ ይችላል. So you have to be able to answer. modular ካላደረግነው እንትናችንን it might not answer, ዝም ብሎ just በአንድ ብቻ Jupyter notebook እንዳይሰራ ማለት ነው. So we give you some structure. Task 1 as a task እንደዚህ አድርጉ ብለናቸዋል. So you just go and in GitHub you create a repository, and you know, if you don't have already Python development environment like VS Code ምናምን ይኖራቸዋል, then Git ላይ ምናምን, then you just create structure for your folder so that you know, you can really it's more like easier because sources ወደ ሶርስ ሄዳሉ ኖትቡኮች በአጠቃላይ በኖትቡክ ውስጥ ቴስቶች ካሏቸው በቴስት scripts like that can run like just .py like in the ቢኒዮኑት ይገባሉ then every other thing CI/CD ካረጋችሁ that runs commit ስታረጉ የሆነ ነገር የሚያደርግ ከሆነ .github በሚል workflow ውስጥ ይሆናል that's it. And project 2 that there are tasks and there are 3 tasks አንደኛው data understanding ነው ሌላኛው exploratory data analysis ነው ሶስተኛው statistical thinking which is interpretation ማለት ነው. And the minimum essential to do is explained here. So create GitHub, create at least one new branch and perform this EDA. And these are the basically all you need to do. Just ሌላ የለው bonus ነው ሌላው ይሄኛው ግን በቃ basically just do EDA ነው. Just get the data, understand, do some summary statistics, do quality check the time series, do some correlations, understand wind analysis like just by doing some kind of different types of visualization, do some temperature analysis, some histograms, some Z-score analysis, and then bubble or scatter charts, and then data cleaning just based on this. And however you do, just this is basically, you know, you can do it in a separate for each of the things. You can have multiple notebooks or you can have it in a few notebooks, then it's just up to you. But once you do that, as a bonus, you can also just do, if you finish, you can do also Streamlit is a very easy to use and to develop dashboards quickly. You know, you will in 1 hour or 2 hours, you can actually do a lot more. All of your visualization, you can turn it into a dashboard using Streamlit. So we give you that. Okay, that's it. And within that also, we have the minimum essential to do. So I think that should be very simple and easy to understand. And yeah, like that's the task. Okay, Rabuma. Rabuma, if you want to. Okay, and my question is, how can I get it if I don't graduate from university? I mean, hopefully that you are, I mean, Rabuma, in principle, that is a bonus sometimes, like, you know, that you can do it, this one, and that means it's in your resume, and unless, of course, you finish university, some bank, especially within the Ethiopian industry, it's probably harder, but in online things, it's much easier. But yes, but when you finish, we still can assist you. Once you finish this one, you will be able to still apply for a job once you finish. So that means it's more of, you can think of it as until no preparation, no, in that sense, you'd be able to do. But of course, we prefer, like normally, that you are at the end of your university conk, much more advantageous, no? Because then fresh and you would get into a job. Otherwise, it gets harder, like, especially freshman con. It might be a much more longer period until you finish, and by then you might, but the skill you might use it here and there. But that's as much as I can say for now. Rabuma. Elias. Elias. Elias, you can unmute አድርገህ ማውራት ትችላለህ። ኤልያስ በቀለ። If not, Gersa.
ኦኬ፣ እሺ፣ አመሰግናለሁ። መጀመሪያ ይሰማል?
ይሰማል። አዎ፣ ጎን
አሁን ትንሽ ረፍጄ ነው የገባና አንዳንድ ጥያቄዎች ፎልደር ስትራክቸር ክሬት ለማድረግ እሱ ላይ እያወራ ነበር እና እሱን እንዴት ክሬት እናደርጋለን? እዚህ ጋር ሁሉ ፕሮግራሞች ደግሞ ቪኤስ ኮድ ሁሉን ይሰራል ወይም ምን አይነት ፕሮግራሞች ማለት አፕሎድ ማድረግ ያለብን ነገሮች ምንድን ናቸው ማለት ነው?
Yeah. So yeah. I think we will go through. I think there will be a tutorial. If I'm not mistaken, let me just check. So tutorialun ብናይ intro Python environment setup GitHub and CI/CD ይሄ already ስለሚኖር እዛ ላይ ይመለሳል። So if you just attend or watch the recorded video as that tutorial, you will see this will be covered.
Okay.
Okay. Good.
ያኛው folder structure MLS
assume the same ነው. So environment setup ማድረግ ነው. So it's basically just once I think GitHubን cover ሲያደርግ he will show like yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Good. Jonathan?
ኦኬ ስለ ቻሌንጁ ነው ጥያቄ ያለኝ። ሁለት ኢንቫይሮንመንቶች ሜንሽን ተደርጓል ቪኤስ ኮድ እና ጁፒተር ኖትቡክ። ሶ የኔ ጥያቄ ለየትኛው ፐርፐዝ ነው ቪኤስ ኮድን የምንጠቀመው? እንደገና ለየትኛው ፐርፐዝ ሲሆን ነው ደግሞ ጁፒተር ኖትቡክ የምንጠቀመው? ማለት እንዴት ነው የሁለቱ ሪሌሽን?
So VS Code has built internal support for Jupyter Notebook. VS Code is an editor. Jupyter Notebook is much more of like ስለዚህ አለው ለምሳሌ VS Code ላይ you can have Jupyter Notebook extension ከዛ በቃ በዛ ማድረግ ነው ሁሉ ነገር በVS Code።
ሶ አብረን የጁፒተር ኖትቡክ ኮዱንም አብረን ሰብሚት እናደርጋለን ማለት ነው?
ዋናው እሱ ነው። as you can see the structure ላይ ራሱ recommended ይሄ ሁሉም structure ሆኖ እዚህ ውስጥ you can see that there are notebooks. So this is actually pi ቢሆንና ከዛ በኋላ like let's say if I just do this let's say እዚህ ጋር example dot አይነት ነገር ሆነ ማለት ነው። so then submit ስታረጉ የዚህን የጌቱን ዋናውን just ሊንኩን ነው submit የምታረጉት። then we will go normally check in the notebooks and that's it. so notebook እዛው ላይ ነው
የጁፒተር ፋይሎቹን ኖትቡክስ የሚለው ፎልደር ውስጥ እናስቀምጣለን እዛ ውስጥ ታገኙታላችሁ ማለት ነው።
exactly yeah.
okay thank you.
yeah okay great. ኦላኒ
ሄሎ ይሰማል?
ይሰማል።
እሺ ቴንክ ዩ ያብባል። የኔም ጥያቄ ቻሌንጂንግ እንትኑ ላይ ነው ታስኮቹ ላይ ነው። እዛ ላይ እንዳለው ታስኩ ላይ እንዳለው ማለት ነው ዳታ ክሊኒንግ መጨረሻ ላይ ተቀምጣለች ነበር። አናላይሲሱን ከሰራም በኋላ ነው ዳታ ክሊን የምናደርገው ወይንስ ዳታ ክሊኒንግ ነው መቅደም ያለበት የሚለው ነው የኔ ጥያቄ ማለት ነው።
ጥሩ ነው። so ይሄኛው more of data understanding clear እንዲሆን ነው so that you understand what is the outlier what is the ምናምን የሚሆነው of course linear አይደለም። ከዛ ግን ዴታ ክሊኒንጉ ኢንዲቪጁዋልም ሊመጣ ይችላል። like ብዙ ጊዜ ዴታ ክሊኑን የምናደርገው so that then the next step እንድንሄድ ነው። ለምሳሌ ለዳሽቦርዱ then data cleaning እናደርጋለን but yes you can do it early but this one helps you a lot more to understand the data. እዚህ ውስጥ ራሱ just data cleaning ማድረግ ነው። ለምሳሌ አውትላየሮቹን ለማድረግ ለምሳሌ ሂስቶግራሙን ስትሰሩ አንዳንድ አውትላየሮች ሂስቶግራሙን እንዳታዩ ታደርጋችሁ in that sense you have to clip them such that then you know ያ ማለት data clean አደረክ ማለት ነው። but yeah data cleaning more እንደ ሉፕ ብታየው ሁሉንም እያደረግን data cleaning አለ ብለህ አስበው። but it is a good question.
okay
so yeah
okay
so,
thank you.
yeah okay good. Elias can you say now or do you want to ቅድም እንትን ስላላልክ okay if not I think በጣም ብዙ ጊዜያችሁን ወስጃለሁ already so I don't want to take more than that but hopefully yeah go on no afga
ቱቶሪያሉን የት እናገኛለን? ቪዲዮ ሊንኩ የለውም ቱቶሪያል
አሁን አይደለም ቱቶሪያሉ ከተሰጠ በኋላ ሼር የሚደረገው so እዛ ሰዓት ላይ ቱቶሪያሉ የሚችል ይገኛል ከዛ ሼር እናደርጋለን። ያ እዛው ላይ ሪከርድ ሲሆን የዚህ ለምሳሌ የዚህ ስልክ ቪዲዮ አሁን በኋላ ላይ ሼር ይደረጋል ደግሞ ማየት የሚፈልግ
Okay, like how we find, so you are saying that we can find for week 0.
Yes. So I mean, what do you mean? So we will share የዚህን ለምሳሌ የዚህን ቪዲዮ አሁን ሪከርድ እየሆነ ነው we will share it later ቱቶሪያሉም አንዴ ከተሰጠ በኋላ we will share it later ሪከርድ የሆነውን ቪዲዮ
Okay, thank you.
ወንደሰን ወንደሰን ኦኬ
ኦኬ ይሰማል
አሁን ይሰማል
እሺ አመሰግናለሁ ትንሽ ሌቱኝ ነው የገባሁት በኮኔክሽን ምክንያት ግን አንዳንድ ጥያቄዎች ነበሩኝ እኔ ትንሽ ማለት ባኪንድ አካባቢ ስሰራ ነበር የቆየሁትና አብዛኞቹ እዚህ ጋር የምታወሩት ነገር ላይ ላይክ አዲስ ነኝ ብዙም እውቀቱ የለኝም ግን ላይክ ራሴን ፉሊ ዴዲኬትድ ማድረግ እንደምችል አምናለሁ በቀን ከአንድ እስከ 6 ሰዓት አካባቢ ዴዲኬት ማድረግ እችላለሁ እንደዚህ ሁኜ ከዚህ ፕሮግራም ላይ ሰክሲድ ማድረግ ይችላሉ ብለህ ታስባለህ ማለት አንተ ኤክስፒሪየንስ
absolutely no doubts if you can spend that much time then and in the weekend you work a bit more I think that's I mean already በቀን ያን ያህል ካረክ you know more than the requirement ስለሚሆን you should be doing it you should and then also already backend ላይ ከነበርክ then going to this would be easy like so that means programming will not be your issue so all your
ፕሮግራሚንግ ላይ አሪፍ ነኝ ግን ማለት አሁን ስታቲስቲካል እንትኖች ይሄ ዴታ አናሊሲስ ላይ ምናምን ነገር አን አብሶሉት ቢግነር እና የሆነ አሼምድ እየሆንኩኝ ነው ራሱ አብዛኞቹን ተርሞች አላወቅኳቸውም
I think it should be fine ቱቶሪያሉ ያንን ሰፖርት ለማድረግ ነው so tutorial would provide you and so I think you would you know we have seen it let alone እንዳንተ even program የሆነ like አንዳንድ ሰው ጥረቱ ካለው they really you will see yourself like within 1 week you will see yourself what it means it's a lot more the approach makes it very easy because you're not learning you're just solving problems and you already have been solving problems for a long time maybe in your work so it's not that different and I think that mindset is what will make it very easy and just that in the first of course understanding the terminologies ምናምን challenge ሊያደርግ ይችላል but I would say that is maybe of 1 week or 2 and then it gets easier but of course I'm not saying you'll be experts data you know statistics mathematics but you would for all practical purposes you would be a good you know you would transition or you would have a skill that really you can go to any company and work as a machine learning engineer in that sense
okay thanks for pointing that out
okay ደግሰው
ሶሪ በሴም ላይክ ወንደሰን ያለበት አይነት ሲቹዌሽን ቶታሊ እኔም ያለውበት ሲቹዌሽን ነውና ላይክ አሁን በቀጥታ ወደ ቀደም ያልኩት እሱ ነው ሪሶርስ ያልኩት በቀጥታ ወደ አሁን ያየሁት በተለይ ዲስ ዊክ ቻሌንጆቹ ዳታ አናላይሲስ ዳታ you know እኔም ኮምፕሊት ቢግነር ነኝ ፓይተን ዴቨሎፐር ነኝ ሶ ፓይተን እና ኤስኩኤል ችግር የለውም ባኪንድ ነው የምሰራው እኔም ግን ሪሶርስ ላይክ አሁን እኔ ዳታ አናላይሲስ የሚለው ነገር ኢቭን ስቴፖቹ እንዴት ሄዶ እንደሚመጣ የሚለውን ነገር ዲስ ኮንፊውዝ ስለሚያደርግ ያንን ነው መጠየቅ የፈለኩት ነበር በአጋጣሚ
yeah I think it should be fine I think trust me on this I think this is I'm not saying it easily but it should be fine you know that a lot more the design is that you will surprise yourself as long as ቀደም ብያለሁ as long as you put effort you will surprise yourself and every week every end of the challenge you will really find about yourself more it's about learning about yourself even because this the systematic approach ቀደም እንዳልኩት we go from business objective which is the most important part and then to go and translate it into data science objective and you know analyze objective and then we break it down into tickets and tasks such that you can really easily see the pattern and you will just you know as long as you just put time and effort then it should be fine
thank you በጣም ደስ የሚል ነው
yeah okay ጌታሁን ጌታሁን
ዘግይቼ ነው የገባሁት እና ሜቢ ሪከርድ ቪዲዮ ላይ ማግኘት ከቻልኩኝ ጥያቄ ልታልፈው ትችላለህ እና ፕሮግራሙ ትንሽ ማለት የሚያሰቡት መጀመሪያ ኦንላይን ኦፍላይን እንደሆነ ነው ያሰቡት የነበረው እና ሁለተኛ ደግሞ ፉል ታይም ሙሉ ጊዜ 3 ቀን ነው ፕሮግራሙ የሚካሄደው ወይስ እንዴት ነው? ሊትል ቢት ብሪፍ ብታደርገኝ። ቴንክ ዩ።
just I think ታገኙዋለህ ግን just to give you እንትን ይሄኛው week 0 is a special week ነው just much more alignmentaችንን ቼክ ማድረግ ነው that you will not waste your time if it's not for you and also for us to know that you have that interest in አንተም ዝም ብሎ አንዳንድ ሰው ዝም ብሎ ይገባል so ያን እንዳይሆን so የዚህ 3 ቀን like ቅዳሜ ነው ኤንዲንጉ this is very much more like a small challenge ነው that is basically alignment ነው so full time ምናምን ሳይሆን በራስ ታይም ላይ መስራት ነው what is required is just as much as possible to go through it እና የምትችለውን አድርጎ ሰሚት ማድረግ ነው then the normal weeks week 1 የምንለው ጀምሮ it would be a much more a week then you will have the weekends also to work submission ብዙ ጊዜ Tuesday end of day ነው የሚሆነው yeah things will be a lot more you can do it on your time everything is going to be recorded እኛ የምናደርገው እና will be shared so on your time you will be able to ማየት ትችላለህ so we encourage you to come and be active in Slack እና Gmeet ላይ stand up ላይ so that challenges ስትሆን አንዳንድ ሰው you would just drop out ያ እንዳይሆን we encourage people to really join online meetings so everything is online hopefully Getaun that covers your question Zerubbabel Zerubbabel
hello
hello
ይሰማል
አሁን ይሰማል
ኦኬ ታንኪዩ በጣም በደንብ ነው አሪፍ ብሪፍ ያደረክልን የኔ ጥያቄ ይሄን ፕሮግራም ሰክሰስፉሊ የጨረሰ ሰው ኤክስፔክት የሚደረግበትን ሁሉ ያደረገ ማለት ነው ምንድነው ኤክስፔክት የሚያደርገው አት ኤንድ ኦፍ ዘ ፕሮግራም እሱ ላይ ትንሽ ክሊር ብታደርግልኝ
so normally we are training for job so that means you should be able to go in a job and you would be able to in 1 week you will deliver value that's stunted and then we will also support such that at least in this case in the Ethiopian financial sectors በጣም ከብዙ ባንኮች ኢንትረስት ስላለን we would at least connect that but እንደተባለው it's up to you of course the skills can be applied anywhere and you can also of course apply and get job anywhere if you want to but our mandate currently is so that means we would really make sure that in this sector you have enough both the domain knowledge so that means the terminologies risk and credit scores and insurance ምናምን ሚሉትን time series analysis this that የሚለው enough ይኖርህና you will be able to of course work as a machine learning engineer data engineer in financial sectors and more and we will support your connection to job within the financial sectors Ethiopia that's at least currently mandateaችን but እንዳልኩት you will know by some time that you might just really say you can work anywhere in the world with the skills you get
thank you
oh, great ሚኪያስ ጥያቄ ነበረ ወይስ ትተው ነው ሚኪያስ ጎን ሚኪያስ
እሺ እየተሰማ ከሆነ እኔ አሁን ሶፍትዌር ኢንጂነሪንግ ተማሪ ነኝና ቀደም ኢንኮል ሜሴጅ ስልስ ሳይ ግራጁዌት ብትሆኑ ሪኮመንድድ ይደረጋል ምናምን የሚል ነገር አይቼ ነበርና ወይ ይሄን ነገር አሁን ትቼው ለቀጣይ ኮሆርት ከጨረስኩ በኋላ ልጠብቅ ወይስ እንዴት ነው በጣም interested ነኝ በዚህ ፊልድ ላይ
something I mean in a way like ይሄኛው I think we haven't thought about so this is a case in principle the job ስለሆነ ነው but if you have time and if you can get trained and if you I don't know, after finishing your job, you want to get into this, I think in principle you can. But otherwise, again, we are, this program will be there for a while. So you can also come back and join later. But I would say, if you are interested and if you're close to finishing, let's say 1-2 years, which are gonna, especially 1 year, which are gonna, it's basically you should really finish this, because immediately after that, you have now your university degree plus this, you can easily get a job immediately afterwards.
Thank you.
Okay. Wonderful. ስለዚህ I think በዚሁ እንዝጋው። ይሄንን ሁሉ ዛሬ ያደረኩት so that everybody is in the same page በሚለው ነው። I know some of you probably needed to drop, but you stayed, and thank you for that. እሺ ክሊንተን ቅድም ማውጣት ስለነበረ ወራውጣት ስለነበረ
for now just for recommendation ቴኒክስ ላይ ቴን አካዳሚ ፕላትፎርም ላይ የተለቀቀው ስኬጁል የክፍያ ኤም 1 ነው እና ስኬጁሉን
updates እዚህ የሰማቻችሁ ነው። ማከዳ ፕሊዝ let's just update that.
Okay. You're welcome. በዛው ያቢ አንዳንድ ነገር ልበል?
Yes, yeah, to you the platform. And ከኔ ጋር ጨርሰናል. Thank you everyone. እሺ ማከዳ
እሺ thank you everyone. ጆይን ስላደረጋችሁ እናመሰግናለን። ሶ በዚሁ አንዳንድ ነገር ስለ ስላክ ቻናላችንም ልበላችሁ። ሶ ስላክ ላይ የተለያዩ አይነት ቻናሎች አሉ። ሶ አይ ሪከመንድ ለሚያስፈልገው ነገር የሚያስፈልገውን ቻናል እንድትጠቀሙ። ሶ ካሁን በኋላ ዊክ 0 የሚለው ኦል ዊክ 0 የሚለው ቻናል ላይ ነው ብዙ ነገሮች ሼር የምናደርገው። እናንተም ስለ ቻሌንጁ ጥያቄዎች ካሏችሁ ኤኒቲንግ ሼር ማድረግ የምትፈልጉ ከሆነ ዊክ 0 ላይ ነው የምታደርጉት። ሪሶርስ ላይ ይጠቅማል ለዚህ ቻሌንጅ ብላችሁ የምታስቡትን ነገር ኦል ሪሶርስ ላይ ሼር ማድረግ ትችላላችሁ። ኦል ሚውዚክ ላይ ሚውዚክስ ነው ሼር የሚደረገው። ኦል ቴኒክስ ሰፖርት የሚለው ቻናል ላይ ደግሞ ኤኒ ዋን ኦፍ ዩ ቴኒክስ ላይ ሎጊን ለማድረግ ስትሞክሩ ኢሹ ካጋጠማችሁ ቴኒክስ ላይ ራሱ ናቪጌት የማድረግ ችግር ካጋጠማችሁ እዛ ላይ እንድትጽፉ ነው። ሶ ኦል ብሮድካስት ቻናል ለቴን አካዳሚ ቲም ያዘጋጀነው ስለሆነ አይ ሬከመንድ እዛ ላይ ባትጽፉ ጥሩ ነው። አናውንስመንቶች ሲኖሩ እዛ ላይ ስለሆነ የሚደረጉት ሚስ እንዳይደረግ ብዙ ሰዎች እዛ ላይ ቀጥታ ሄደው እዛ አክቲቭሊ ያለውን ሴሽን እንዲያውቁ ይረዳናል። ሶ እሱን አደራ። ሌላው ደግሞ ስኬጁሉ whenever you open it ሪፍሬሽ ብታደርጉት ጥሩ ነው። ታይም ዞናችሁ ላይም አጀስት አድርጎ እንዲቀመጥ ቢካዝ እኛ ዩቲሲ ታይም ዞን ነው የምንጠቀመው፣ ግን አጀስት ያደርጋል ወዳላችሁበት ታይም ዞን። ሶ እሱን ሪፍሬሽ አድርጉ ትላለሁኝ። ከዛ በኋላ ለቴኔክስ ውስጥ if it's your first time logging in ምንድነው የሚሆነው ፓስወርዱን ሪሴት ነው የምታደርጉት፣ ግን የምትጠቀሙት ኢሜል ፈርስት ታይም ሬጂስተር ስታደርጉ የተጠቀማችሁበትን ኢሜል ትከቱና ፓስወርዳችሁን ሪሴት ስታደርጉ ሎጊን ማድረግ ትችላላችሁ ማለት ነው። ሶ ሰሚሽን ፖርታሉ አሁን ለምሳሌ አርብ ነው ፋይናል ሰሚሽን ዴት። ሶ ከሐሙስ ጀምረን ኦፕን እናደርገዋለን። ከሐሙስ ማታ ጀምረን ሶ ዲዩሪንግ ዘ ዴይ ታይም ማስገባት ትችላላችሁ። ዴድላይኑ እስከ 8 ፒኤም ዩቲሲ ማለት በኢትዮጵያ ወይም ኢስት አፍሪካን ታይም 11 ፒኤም ማለት ነው፣ ማታ 5 ሰዓት ላይ ማለት ነው። ሶ በዛ መሰረት ብታስገቡ መክራለሁኝ። ኦፍ ኮርስ ዲሌ ሊያጋጥም ይችላል። we have 24 hours grace period። በዛ መሀል ለማስገባት ተሞክሩ፣ ጥሩ ነው ላለው። ሶ ኦል ኮሚኒኬሽንስ ስላክ ላይ ስለሚሆኑ anything you want to ask እዛ ላይ ብታደርጉትና እዛ ላይ በደንብ እንትን ብትሉ in less than 5 minutes ሪስፖንስ ታገኛላችሁ። ሶ ያንን ነበር ለማለት የፈለኩት። ሶ ይሄ ዊክ 0 ማለት አሴስመንት ፌዛችን ነው። ሶ ኢትስ ላይክ the simulation of the actual training. So basically a taste of what you're going to be going through ነው የምታዩት ያላችሁት። So like take it easy። እና ብዙ ጊዜ እኛ ፕሮግራሞች ላይ ብዙ ሰዎች ሰሚት ለማድረግ ይሞክሩና ግን they feel like it's not perfect የሰሩት ስራ ለዛ ሰሚት ከማድረግ ይታቀባሉ። ግን ቅድም ያብባል እንዳለው it's the effort እና የምትችሉትን ለመስራት መሞከራችሁ ስለሆነ ዋናው ነገር። ሶ ትራይ የቻላችሁትን ሰርታችሁ ሰሚት ለማድረግ እና ፐርፌክት ስላልሆነ ሰሚት አላደርግም ብላችሁ ባትተውት ጥሩ ነው። ቢካዝ I'm sure this program is going to benefit you in so many ways. It's also a self growth journey. ለዛ ያ ሶ እንደዛ አድርገን አክቲቭ ሆነን በደንብ እንትን እንድንልጋብዛችኋለሁ። እና yeah, welcome again. Thank you, Yabi. And so yeah, and now recorded sessions 2 to 3 hours after the session ታገኙታላችሁ on our YouTube channel.
Wonderful. Thanks. እሺ ምናልባት የመጨረሻውን አብርሃምን እንቀበልና then we will close. አብርሃም
Okay.
ያ ምናልባት ማክዳ እንደዛኛው ባለፈው ጆይን እንዳደረገ ነው ዩኒቨርሲቲ ጆብ አይነት እንትን ምንድነው ቴኒክስ ፕላትፎርም ቢኖረው ይሄኛው አሳይመንቶቹ ማለት ምንድነው ስኬጁሎቹ ምናምን ኤቭሪ ታይም እየሄድን ቼክ እንድናረግ ኢሜል ላይ እየገባን ቼክ የምናረግ እንደዚህ አይነት ነገር ቢኖረው
አለው። በእርግጥ ኢሜል ላይም ሼር አድርገናል። ሶ አብርሃም እዛ ላይ ቼክ አድርገው ሊንኩን ደግሞ አሁን ዊክ 0 ላይም ሼር እናደርገውና ሎጊን ማድረግ ትችላለህ። ሊንኩ ነው የሚለያየው። ሶ የክፍያን አክሰስ ለማድረግ የክፍያ ቴኒክስ ፕላትፎርም አለ፣ እዛ ላይ ታገኘዋለህ ሊንኩን። አሁን ራይት ነው ሼር እያደረኩት ነው። እሺ you're welcome.
Wonderful. Thanks everyone and yeah, happy data analysis then.
Okay. Thank you guys. Bye.
Just one announcement. We're supposed to have a community building session. I will just share the message on Slack. Let's see it on Slack right now. Thank you.